Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back into Chatterbox Reds live here in the ninth inning. As what is a lot better feeling coming out of the eighth inning than what we had last night. We got a 2-1 Cincinnati Reds lead, and Emilio Pagan coming in for the first time since Monday to close the door. So hopefully get a fresh Emilio here. Like the stream, subscribe, likes for strikes, all that good stuff. Let's get a win here and try to even this series out. Come on, Emilio. How we doing tonight, Craig?
We're good, man. I had a great day today. Went out, spent a lot of the day in the pool, had some friends over, grilled out, watched the Reds, hopefully pick up a win. So let's close it out and end the day with a high quality Saturday. O'Neill Cruz is going to start it off for the Pirates. They've got 4, 5, 6 due up. Cruz, McCutcheon, and Nick Gonzalez due up. First pitch from Pagan is inside for ball 1. What about you, Corey? You do anything fun today?
Yeah, we actually had a volleyball scrimmage this morning and a football scrimmage this afternoon. My daughter dates the starting quarterback, so we catch all the Cambridge football we possibly can. So been a busy one today, but a lot of sports, and I'll take it. No complaints here. There
you go.
Yeah.
Attach yourself to that starting QB and get him to the NFL and start making some money.
We might take it out of this joint.
Pitches in there for a strike to Cruz from Pagan as it sits 1-1. Fastball swung on and missed. Cruz loses his helmet on that one. Swung for the fences, looking to tie the game up. Reds lead 2-1 for those of you just joining. Bottom of the ninth. Emilio Pagan in to face the Pirates and look to close it out. Tell you what, another game, not a whole lot of runs scored. This Reds pitching staff, as we talked about last night, has been nails. It just hasn't gotten the run support it needs as Pagan misses outside 2-2.
Yeah, our numbers with runners in scoring position are not great once again. 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. It's been kind of a struggle, but we can get Emilio to shut the door here.
Yep. Cruz fouls that one back. 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Pagan. O'Neill Cruz tonight 0 for 3, 2 lineouts and a strikeout. Pagan looking to make it 0 for 4 on the day for the dangerous O'Neill Cruz. Another foul ball back, 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Tell you what, though, the Pirates really haven't gotten a whole lot today either. We'll talk about Nick Martinez's performance during the show. I don't want to get too much into it here, but Pirates not a whole lot either. So just one of those games. Pitching staff has done its job. You just hope that Pagan can shut it down. 7th pitch of the at-bat now to Cruz. Pagan with the windup and the pitch. Cutter catches the outside corner, but is fouled away by Cruz again.
Making him earn it. Come on, Emilio. Uh-oh.
I just got sent a tweet. Evan Rowell. I don't exactly know who Evan Rowell is, so I apologize if that's somebody I should know, as Pagan misses down and in 3-2 now to Cruz. 4 days ago, he tweeted, heading to Cincinnati this weekend to watch the Cincy Open tennis tournament, and I understand I should probably try Skyline Chili because that's their thing, but it just looks so unappealing. And then later tweeted today, Again, Evan Rowell. I have now tried Skyline Chili. I want to go back in time to when I had never tried Skyline Chili. O'Neill Cruz draws a walk, and Emilio Pagan puts a runner on. And the winning run now comes to the plate for the Pittsburgh Pirates as they look to break the hearts of Cincinnati Reds fans yet again on back-to-back nights. Obviously, we all remember the 8th inning last night, Tony Santillan giving
I can't do it again, Craig. I can't do it again. My heart can't take it.
The go-ahead runs. If I remember correctly, Brian Reynolds with a 2-run double in that 2-run triple, I guess, on a play that Noelvi Marte didn't read correctly off the wall, I guess the half wall down the right field line, and then bobbled a little bit as he was trying to field it. So,
come on, Emilio. He cuts to roll over one here.
Yep.
Nice ground ball.
Pagan will now face Andrew McCutchen, who stands in from the right side of the plate. McCutchen 0 for 2. He walked in the 2nd inning as well. That cutter is not close. Ball 1 to McCutchen. O'Neill Cruz, of course, a threat to steal at any point. Wouldn't be surprised if the Pirates try to get him in scoring position at some point in this at-bat. You've got McCutchen and then Nick Gonzalez and Joey Bart due up for the Pirates as McCutchen looks at strike 1, 1-1.
Does have 2 plate appearances against Emilio. He has 1 for 2 with a double. So,
yeah. Andrew McCutchen has certainly had success against the Reds, 73 career extra base hits against them. So this one is hit high in the air to left field. Fraley is under it, just short of the warning track, and he's got it in control. He'll hurl it back in and hold Cruz at first base. 1 down.
Big first out.
For Pagan. 105.7 miles an hour off the bat from McCutchen on that one, but launch angle too high, and Fraley able to wrangle it in. Looked like he almost lost it in the lights there for a minute. McCutchen knew he was just under it. Grimaced a little bit after the hit. Could have had it, but nonetheless, Nick Gonzalez stands in 1 for 3. He's got a single in the 7th. That was a nice play by Ellie De La Cruz that unfortunately short-hopped Spencer Steer. Steer a little bit of handcuffed on the scoop, couldn't come up with it. Scored a single. Ellie had gone deep in the hole to his right between shortstop and third base to make that play, but was unable to make the throw, allowed Nick Gonzalez to reach base. Luckily, Gonzalez erased by the next batter, Joey Bart, as he grounded into a double play, as the count now stands 1-1 to Gonzalez.
Ooh. I'm surprised he didn't throw that one down. My man was halfway to second. Good.
The cutter is swung on and missed by Gonzalez. 1-2.
Good pitch.
Very nice pitch. Started on the inside part of the plate, dipped down and away, caught the lower part of the plate. Gonzalez couldn't catch it. He goes fastball outside corner, is fouled off by Gonzalez.
Another pretty good crowd on Luau weekend in Pittsburgh.
That's right. Giving away those Hawaiian shirts. Last night was Fireworks Friday, I saw. Tonight, Hawaiian shirt giveaway night as Pagan throws over to first. Cruz dives back in safely.
Ooh. Come on, kid. Low and away, 2-2 count. Oh,
that ball's lined to short. Smoke. Ellie throws to first. Got it. Doubled it up.
Let's go.
And that'll do it. Reds take this one on a Saturday night. Ellie De La Cruz caught the line drive off the bat of Nick Gonzalez and fired it over to first. Got O'Neill Cruz, who had gone almost halfway to second by the time that Ellie caught it, and was able to get the speedy runner at first for a double play to close it out. Reds win this one 2-1. Corey, let's do a show.
Yes, sir.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the Laurent Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Line to right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Does it have a chance? The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, are you kidding me? Holy moly, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
Well, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back into a winning edition of Chatterbox Reds, proudly sponsored by Deep South Commodities. Chatterbox Reds is your daily home for all sport or all things Cincinnati Reds all season long. I'm Corey Phillips here, joined again by Craig Sandlin. Craig, a lot better feeling tonight than what we had last night, and what was a 2-1 win for your Cincinnati Reds, and a big outing by Nick Martinez. Got seven strong innings out of him. Didn't have to rely on the bullpen too much tonight, so got actually a decent performance out of Tony Santillan. Emilio Pagan comes in and shuts the door, and a big win when your Cincinnati Reds actually absolutely needed it. So give me your thoughts on tonight's game.
Yeah, look, two tough games to start the series. Obviously, Paul Skeens shuts you down on Thursday night. You come back out and get Mitch Keller on Friday night and lose a heartbreaker that gave up 2 runs in the 8th and unable to secure that victory. And obviously, you have to think in the back of their heads, they were hoping that they didn't face the same fate tonight, leading 2-1, heading into the 8th again. Santillan comes in, has to face Brian Reynolds again, gets him to ground out. And then obviously Pagan comes in the 9th, gives up the walk to O'Neill Cruz, but is able to shut the door and get the win. Reds yet again avoid any threat of a sweep, have yet to be swept this year now. And we'll look for a series split tomorrow. Certainly not the outcome that they would have liked coming into the series against a Pirates team that was sitting at 50 and 65 heading into the series. But nonetheless, at this point, you salvage a split on the road and look to Sunday in a pivotal matchup for newcomer Zach Littell.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can find a way to squeak one out on Sunday, you've still come away with a winning road trip. So I know those first 2 games in Pittsburgh have definitely left a bad taste in our mouth, but getting the win tonight is absolutely huge. Takes us into a Sunday, gives us a chance at a winning road trip. Like you say, keeps the streak of not being swept alive. So feeling a lot better tonight. Captain Martinez came through when we needed him.
Yeah, look, I think one of the biggest disappointments about this red stretch of late, especially after the All-Star break, they're talking about it in the chat right now, is that the New York Mets have lost 9 of their last 10 games, and yet here we are, the Reds have not made up any ground on them because they continue to drop outings. So obviously cheering on the Brewers as they face the Mets right now. It's 4-4 in the bottom of the 7th in Milwaukee there. So it's definitely scoreboard watching season, to say the least. But Reds have had a lot of opportunity to make up ground. And, you know, if the Brewers do come away with a win and the Reds are only 2.5 back, that's great. But given the Mets streak here, sure could have been in the playoffs sitting there if you would have taken care of business.
Yeah, it's trying to give it the old Terry Francona approach. I don't want to look backwards. Let's just look forward and try to get as much momentum as we possibly can and go forward. No sense in looking back now. We're not going that way, but let's give them a box score recap. Let them know what happened in tonight's game.
Let's do it. As always, box score recap presented by Nicholas Kirby. The Reds, looking to salvage a series split with the Pirates after dropping the first two of the series, turned to Nick Martinez on Saturday night. The Pirates rolled out a bullpen game to counter, starting with Braxton Ashcraft. Pirates got on the board first when Jared Triolo doubled to lead off the bottom of the third inning, a hit that saw Noelvi Marte badly misjudge a ball following a few feet behind him onto the warning track in right center. Triolo would advance to third on a Spencer Horwitz single and then score on a Tommy Pham sacrifice fly. Reds got the run back in the top of the fourth. That's when Spencer Steer scored from first base on a double by Noelvi Marte that snuck just fair down the third base line. Noelvi Marte led off the top of the seventh with a double to left field. He would advance to third on a ground out by Ke'Bryan Hayes and come around to score on a sacrifice fly by TJ Friedl, giving the Reds a 2-1 lead. Meanwhile, Nick Martinez, the captain, allowed just 2 base runners over his final 16 batters faced and finished the day going 7 innings for the first time since his no-hit bid against the Padres on June 27th. Final line on the night for Nick Martinez: 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, accumulated 9 groundouts on the day. Definitely a high number for Nick Martinez. Tony Santillan worked a scoreless 8th inning, including getting last night's hero Brian Reynolds to ground out to end the inning. Emilio Pagan came in to pitch the 9th and got Nick Reynolds to line out to Ellie De La Cruz, who fired to first, getting O'Neal Cruz, who had walked earlier in the inning, for the third out. Reds win 2-1. Reds now stand 61-57 on the year and look to close out the split in Pittsburgh tomorrow afternoon.
Once again, another night where we were kind of searching for the big hit. 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. No homers again, so it had to go searching for the DSC deep drive of the day, but did have a home run in Louisville tonight. Hector Rodriguez got into one in the bottom of the first inning to give the Bats a 1-0 lead in the first. He hit a 407-foot home run going 107.1 miles per hour off the bat with a 20-degree launch angle. That will be your DSC deep drive of the day from Hector Rodriguez. Our DSC deep drive of the day is sponsored by DSC, is your leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. And thanks, as always, to our friends at DSC.
Yeah, look, we got to start with the conversation around Nick Martinez. I think that's the natural place to start here for him. Obviously, his return to the rotation after moving out to the bullpen, with the changes and the trades that happened at the deadline, he only had to make 1 appearance out of the bullpen. That was a appearance against the Chicago Cubs on August 4th. But Nick Martinez, now in his last 5 starts, has not allowed more than 2 runs in any of those starts. He goes tonight 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Look, I mean, I know he's had a couple blow-ups, to say the least. Obviously, Miami, he was left in to kind of take the brunt of things, gave up 10 runs in that one, but he's really been a pretty solid force for you throughout the season, only giving up more than 4 runs twice on the year. So, I think Nick Martinez, I know everyone wants to knock the contract that he was given this offseason, the qualifying offer, but I think when you look at what he's given you, I think he's realistically been worth the $21 million, which is kind of crazy to say. But I mean, the leadership that he gives you, the consistency that he's given you in the rotation, the flexibility to come out of the bullpen at times, I'm pretty happy with Nick Martinez and what he's given the Reds. And I'm almost to the point now, Corey, where I'm wondering what it wouldn't take to keep him around Cincinnati for the next 2 or 3 years. I don't think he's going to continue to make $20 million a year, but what's it going to take to get this guy signed in Cincinnati for a 2 or 3 year deal, you think?
That's a great question. I wish I was a numbers guy. I don't get into the contract stuff too much, but I feel like Nick Martinez is one of those guys. We talked about it last night, where Kyle Schwarber has no reason to give the Cincinnati Reds a hometown discount. Nick Martinez might be that guy. You can kind of play on those heartstrings. I mean, Nick loves being here. We love having Nick. And you're right. The versatility that the guy brings. Just the leadership that he provides, the willingness to throw his bullpen innings in an actual bullpen situation. I mean, it's just it spreads all the way through your pitching roster, from literally from your bullpen to your starting rotation. Our other guys have to feed off of that, and having a guy like Nick Martinez, it's hard to put a price on it. And obviously the Cincinnati Reds have this year, but where would we be without Nick Martinez? I mean, we would probably be. Of course, you could say that with just about any player on it, honestly. But Nick Martinez might be the glue that's holding this Cincinnati Reds tight wire rope season together.
Yeah, look, I don't know if he would take it or not, but I'd certainly wouldn't be afraid to throw a 2-year $36 million or 3-year $52 million contract at Nick Martinez and make him say no. You know what I mean? Like, if he tells you no, he tells you no. But he's a guy that, again, the leadership qualities that he brings, the fieriness that he brings to that mound. Every time I watch him pitch, I have fun, and it looks like he's having fun. And I think that plays off of it. You talk about guys in the field kind of, not getting excited, and maybe Tito isn't necessarily the flair kind of manager, but Nick Martinez is certainly not afraid to show some fire. And I think it comes across. You look at some of the defensive plays that were made today. Obviously the struggle that Noelvi Marte had in that outfield, but there was also two really nice plays that Ellie made. Obviously one of them unfortunately couldn't make the throw, and then Matt McClain made a really nice play in the 5th inning as well. I just think that ultimately you look at what he's brought to this lineup and what he's brought to this team, and honestly, I'd love to keep him around for some depth. If that means that he's in the bullpen a majority of the time, I honestly don't care, because he gives you that flexibility. Injuries are bound to happen every single year. We know that happens. We've seen it happen. For me, bring him back, put him in the bullpen to start the year, and then if you need to bring him in for spot starts here and there, let's do it. But I think we've seen too many injuries and too many missed starts for me to feel comfortable. And as Nick always says, you can never have too much starting pitching, and Nick Martinez certainly gives you that flexibility.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know what the going market would be for a 4th starter in this rotation, but how exciting of a rotation is it when you've got a guy like Nick Martinez coming out as your 4th starter behind Hunter Green, Andrew Abbott, Chase Burns, Lodolo, wherever he fits into this situation. The guy's a consummate professional. It's hard not to want to keep around a guy like that. I mean, you see the emotion coming off the field when they make the double play there in the 7th inning to kind of get him out of it. The guys feed off of it. I mean, Nick Martinez is kind of fits the Cincinnati mold. I mean, even tonight's game, he was at over 40 pitches in the 2nd inning, and then gets through seven innings with 90 pitches. So 50 pitches in the next 5 innings. So there's a guy that shows you he doesn't always have to have his best stuff, and he can still battle through it and grit through it and get the wins that we absolutely need. And our lineup has to feed off of it. I mean, we've sat here and said it time and time again. Nick Martinez is kind of our spark, and as he's going well, so do the Cincinnati Reds. So I don't hate the idea of bringing a guy like Nick Martinez back and having him around for a couple years. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, he had 57 pitches through 3 innings, and you're sitting here thinking, oh man, this bullpen's already worn out. I certainly hope that he can give a little bit more. And then he comes out in the 4th, 9 pitches, comes out in the 5th, 12 pitches, comes out in the 6th, 4-pitch inning for Nick Martinez in the 6th. And then, of course, the 7th, 12 pitches, ends the day, 94 pitches, 58 of them for strikes. I know that the Reds obviously value starting pitcher, and you obviously mentioned it already. Chase Burns, Andrew Abbott, Nick Lodolo, Hunter Green. You've got guys on the injured list in Rhett Lauder, Wade Miley, Carson Spires, Brandon Williamson, Julian Aguiar. But a lot of these guys are still unproven. I mean, Aguiar, Lauder, Spires, Williamson, are those guys that you really want to rely on to be the back end of your rotation in 2026? I don't necessarily know that I'm ready to do that. If you can go out and get Nick Martinez as your 5th starter, or even a guy in the bullpen that can come in and make the spot start, and you have a rotation of Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, Andrew Abbott, Chase Burns, and either Rhett Lauder or Williamson comes back from his Tommy John surgery or whoever it may be. Brett Lauder comes back from his injury. He's now slotted to be out for the year, as far as I've heard. But at the end of the day, I mean, you've got the depth, but have you got the pieces that you can rely on? I don't necessarily know that I'm ready to rely on anybody beyond those first four. So if you can get Nick Martinez at a reasonable rate, he's certainly going to test the market, as he should. But for a guy his age, and again, he's 35 years old right now, I think he'd gladly take a 3-year contract somewhere and try and close out his career making some money. So I would certainly put an offer in front of him, make him say no, and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, worst thing you can say is no, and you're in the same position you're in now. But like you say, you can never have too much pitching depth, and we see it too often with Lodolo or Hunter Green having to miss starts and that sort. Having a guy like Nick Martinez to be the glue, whether you need him in the bullpen or to make a spot start with guys that obviously aren't consistently going to go a full season. There's definitely value to be had in that, and I feel like he likes playing in Cincinnati. I feel like he likes playing for Terry Francona, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cincinnati Reds make him an offer, and like you said, let him say no and work our cards from there.
Yep, we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, with time, we do have a super chat I want to get to real quick. Reds batter up. I appreciate you tuning in. Free Sal Stewart now. We'll get to the Reds MILB here in a little bit later in the show. But for those that are wondering, Sal Stewart currently 2 for 4 on the day down in Louisville, has a double in that game. So we'll talk about that later on in the show. But Reds batter up. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the super chat. And as always, we want to remind you that 988 is a place that you can call or text anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between. It's a 100% confidential, secure, and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or visit mantherapy.org to get help. It's okay not to be okay. Now, the other guy that we got to talk about tonight, Corey, I think is pretty obvious, but we'll throw it out there. Noelvi Marte, 3 doubles on the night. Obviously struggles still defensively in right field. It's not a position he's used to. Maybe over the summer, get some more work in there and he can come back and be a reliable right fielder. But to say the least, he's certainly provided a spark at times from the right-handed side of the plate as an offensive threat for this team.
Absolutely. Shout out to my guy, Mike Hart. He loves to call it the Marte Parte. And my guy had a party at the plate tonight. Makes up for the right field blunder. You're going to live and die with some of the stuff that he's going to do in right field, obviously not being his natural position. But you hope some of those blunders come in a 7-1 game where it doesn't make a big difference. But when it comes in a 1-0 game and that run is absolutely crucial and ties up the game, it becomes a little bit bigger of a spotlight. So. But he did end up making a couple catches out there. Got a bad first step. His first step was in on that play, and it ate him up real quick. But when you go 3 for 4 at the plate and with 3 doubles, it makes it pretty easy to forget. So Noelvi Marte absolutely deserves all the flowers tonight. Having his stick in the lineup is making a really big difference, and especially when the middle of our lineup is sorely struggling right now to seem to get a big hit. And Austin Hayes gets a night off tonight. Hopefully Austin Hayes can take that night off and run with it, because my guy's been struggling at the plate. So when guys like that are struggling, it's nice to get some production out of your 8-hitter, and Noelvi Marte was that guy tonight.
Yeah, look, Marte's, finished July hitting pretty well, and then for whatever reason, August just hasn't been his month. He is 2 for 18 coming into tonight. 1 extra base hit in those 2 hits, a slugging percentage of just 167 on the month. So certainly good for him to get back on track. Those 3 doubles, one of them right inside the third base bag down the left field line, another one into left field deep, and then obviously the one in the 9th as well. So Marte, I think, has and continues to be one of those pieces that this front office and obviously Terry Francona has some faith in. I know that there was a time where he had to be sent down and started the year in minor leagues, but this is a guy that I think that they see long term as part of the plan. And if he can hit like he did tonight and like he did at the end of July, there's certainly room for him. Now the question becomes, is there room for him in right field? Is there room for him as a DH? Where exactly he fits in is hard to say with the addition of Ke'Bryan Hayes, but nonetheless, I mean, 3 triples is hard to overlook.
Yeah, absolutely right. His right field, though, you can kind of see the athleticism, man. When he opens up, his sprint speed is absolutely there. Hopefully, we can get the arm situation figured out, and he can open up a little bit more in right field. I know we kind of harped on him last night, guys being out of position and harping on it, but I think if we give him an offseason in the outfield and actually puts the work in, he was one of those guys that was completely off my radar at the beginning of the season, and now he's becoming one of the guys that I absolutely want to see in the lineup every night. So for him to be able to make that kind of a jump during this season, it's hard to tell what kind of jump he can actually make in an off season with consistent work in right field. I think he might be the guy that we need him to be in the right field corner and solidify that spot as a bat in this lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the sprint speed 91st percentile in the major leagues. So, and obviously we've seen him show off the arm as well. So if he can figure out tracking fly balls and be able to, chase those down, I definitely think that he can be a potent part of this offense moving forward. It's just, right now it's kind of tough because he's a little bit of a liability defensively, but here we are. He still continues to make offensive plays, and certainly a guy that we're going to keep an eye on as the season progresses and as he continues to get reps in right field, because I don't think there's any question at this point that Tito is sold on him being in the lineup as much as possible, especially against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, and I can't disagree with him there. With when you're going over 10 with runners in scoring position and you're lacking for a big hit, we're starving for a guy like Marte. So we'll take it. The bottom. I just wonder how long he stays in the bottom of the lineup hitting 277. It's only a matter of time till we start to see him. If he's getting consistent at bats and keeps playing at the level that he's playing, it's going to be hard not to put his lineup in a little bit higher to cause a lot more damage, get him a few more at bats when we can.
Yeah. Another guy that obviously hasn't provided the power necessarily that the Reds thought, or I guess many of Reds fans thought they needed at the deadline, but I've been impressed with is Miguel Andujar, and I want to chat about him real quick. 1 for 4 tonight, but he did pick up the double in the 6th inning. Bryce Spalding put out a good tweet earlier today during the game that I saw that Miguel Andujar now, every single ball that he's put in play, with the exception of the first one, has been a hard hit ball according to MLB metrics. The first ball he hit in play, 88.3 miles per hour. Every ball since there has been 95 miles an hour or harder, and 6 of them have been over 100 miles an hour. So Miguel Andujar, a guy who I think if you get the launch angle figured out can add some power to this lineup. But the fact that he continues to put balls in play and hit the ball hard, it's really hard, especially even when he does it against right-handed pitching. A lot of the people talked about the knock against him was that he could only hit left-handers. He's been doing it against right-handers too, including tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy deserves all the flowers in the world. You kind of scratch your head last night when he was in against the right-handed pitcher, and the guy ends up with a couple base hits and ends up on base 4 out of 6 times or whatever in the last couple nights against right-handed pitching. So it's hard to knock the guy. Give Spencer Steer a big day off yesterday. So in this stretch of crazy baseball season, after losing the day off on Sunday, giving guys a day off is an absolute gem. So Andujar deserves all the flowers in the world. I do like seeing him better as a DH than I do at first base. I will say that. But him in the 4-hole and giving Austin Hayes a blow tonight. So giving guys days off, which is going to be good on the back end, but also playing well while he's in the lineup against when everybody told us he wasn't going to hit right-handed pitching. He has actually looked pretty decent. So he deserves the flowers. You're right. Yeah,
and tonight's double, 99.3 miles per hour off the bat, again against a right-handed pitcher in Carmen Mudzinski. So, I mean, tip your cap to him as well. Again, the Reds still blatantly need offense. They only scored 2 runs again tonight, but if you can get Noelvi Marte, if you can get Miguel Andujar, if Ellie De La Cruz can get out of this slump that he's in right now, there's certainly potential here. And you add a couple more pieces in the offseason, it's going to be dangerous. It's just a matter of, do you trust that front office to make those moves? And I'm not sure I do just yet, but nonetheless, Miguel Andujar definitely given the team what they needed this year. So appreciate him, and glad the Reds made that move.
Yeah, it's I know it's not the big splash that everybody wanted to go get, and we're definitely still missing that bat in the lineup. But I've been a really big fan of our 3 additions, man. I'm drinking the Key Brian Hayes Kool-Aid, just like Nick was talking the other day. I like the dude. Obviously, get his bat going a little bit more, but Andujar's been a good glue. If we can get a good performance out of Zach Littell like we got the last time, our not off season, our trade line acquisitions are becoming a good glue to this squad. If we were able to maintain our roster together, kind of keep our momentum. So if we can get the ball rolling a little bit, start getting going offensively, get Ellie hitting back to where he was before the All-Star break, I do like where we're at. I'm not completely giving up on this team quite yet. So
look, I said it on the trade deadline special with Nick and Mike. If you look at what the Reds did in a vacuum and you ignore what everybody else did, the Reds actually had an okay trade deadline. I wouldn't say it was fantastic, but they made 3 solid moves that I legitimately think make them a better team, by adding Key Brian Hayes, who adds defensive ability at third base, by adding Miguel Andujar, they needed a right-handed bat, and obviously by adding Zach Littell, who has already shown his abilities early on. Now, comment in the chat says that I wouldn't say that this offense can be dangerous. They still need 4 or 5 pieces. I would argue that if you can get Matt McLain, Ellie De La Cruz, Miguel Andujar, Tyler Stevenson, Noelvi Marte to play to their potential, you're only, I'm going to say 2, maybe 3 pieces away from really being like daunted. But like, I do think that this is an offense that is only a couple pieces away from being a threatening offense. Now, does that mean they're going to put up 8, 9, 10 runs a night? Maybe not. But again, like we talked about last night with this starting rotation, all I really need from them is like 4 to 5 runs a night, and I'll be perfectly happy. I don't need them to be some magical team that's putting up double digits every week, but I do need them to be a consistent offense that can put up 4 or 5 runs a night, and then obviously have those nights where they put up more than that. But right now, they're not there, and the problem obviously is the concern around the approach. And if the approach is to continue to hit singles, and this front office in the offseason continues to go about it where they want to get guys who can hit singles, then that's going to be a challenge, right? But if they go out and they get there a power hitter for the middle of the lineup, they get me a consistent guy with a nice on-base percentage for the bottom of the lineup, I might be convinced that this team can be close. So I know that some guys have underperformed this year. It's just a matter of what you think that they are going to be and what they really are. You look at their historical numbers, you look at what they did in their last professional season. A lot of people want to point to Matt McLain and his struggles this year. He's had stretches where he's shown his ability to be an offensive threat. Continues to hit in that 2-hole. He was 1 for 3 tonight with a single. But yeah, just the challenge is the approach. And obviously, again, the chat is acknowledging it as well, but like, they had multiple missed opportunities again tonight because their approach, at least in my eyes, is ineffective. So you look at the 3rd inning where you had a first and third with only 1 out. You didn't score in that situation. You look at the 6th inning, you get a leadoff double, didn't score a run in that situation. It just, multiple opportunities that just don't turn into runs that really could have. And so that's certainly going to be something that this Reds team is going to have to get better at. You mentioned 0 for 10 and with runners in scoring position on the night. That's not going to play long term. So luckily this pitching staff has bailed the Reds offense out for this year, but they're going to have to be better. They're going to have to do better, because when you get to the playoffs, again, knock on wood, hopefully this team can get to the playoffs, you're going to be facing other teams' aces and 2s as well. So you're going to have to win 1-0, 2-0 ball games because your offense isn't going to score. So if the pitching staff has a blow up or that bullpen is so worn out by then that they're unusable, you're not going to be able to make any success in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You hit it right on the head. You don't have to go. We're not going to look for a guy that's going to. We don't have to score 10 runs a night. If we can score 4 or 5 runs a night with this pitching staff, I mean, it's going to be it's going to bode well for us in the long run. But like you say, struggling with runners in scoring position, the aggression on the base path just wasn't there like we talked about last night. But our percentages are down as far as the stolen bases from 2024, and we've got more than enough speed in this lineup, and I can't figure it out. If we're going to sit around and wait for the big run or wait for somebody to get the big hit, we might have to get something going on the base path to get some guys in motion or get something going, because it's just not there right now, and we're going to have to do what we've got to do. But like you say, I know we're relying a lot on potential as far as getting the rest of these guys going, getting Ellie De La Cruz going, getting everybody moving. But even when you go and pay somebody in the offseason, you're still paying those guys on their potential too. It's what they've done in the past and what you hope they can do in the future as a Cincinnati Reds. So it's all potential based system. So I wanted to address something. I had a couple different people asking me in the chat about my hat. It is actually a Detroit Tigers hat that I bought in Tiger Stadium, but it's the only thing that looks like a Cincinnati Bengals hat, and it's bright orange. So go Bengals. And it was one thing I could buy in Detroit to tell everybody like I was in the stadium that day. So there's the answer. There's the answer for the hat question. It is a Detroit Tigers hat, but I wear it because it's orange and it'll look great with my Cincinnati Bengals stuff on Sunday. So there we go.
Exactly what everybody thought it was. Look, TJ Friedl stole second base after walking to lead off the game, and then they didn't attempt another steal the rest of the night. And he was safe pretty easily. I don't know. We've talked ad nauseum at this point about the lack of aggressiveness on the base pass. I don't necessarily understand it. A 2-1 ball game, a team that relies on singles. You're not going to score on a single from first base, so you better get yourself in scoring position somehow, because the likelihood of you stringing 3 or 4 base hits together is not looking good. So hopefully they can figure that out. Or maybe, I don't know, just start hitting some home runs. That'd be nice too.
Absolutely. And the thing, we're just in a dry spell right now. When you start looking at the numbers overall, 259 batting average is ninth in the league in runners in scoring position. 254 hits is 10th with runners in scoring position. We scored 383 runs. That's 12th. We're right there in the middle of the pack. We're just in a dry spell. We've got to get these guys going. We start hitting that momentum spell with Ellie and some of these guys in the middle of the lineup. We're going to get on here and feel a lot better about some of the guys that we've got going. We're just in a dry spell right now. We've got to get out of it. And I'm not sure exactly what it's going to take. If it's action on the base paths or whatever we got to do. Let's get some of these guys moving, because the offense isn't completely dead, and I'm not giving up on these guys quite yet.
Yeah. Well, let's hope. Let's hope. All right. Do we want to do MILB?
Yeah, let's get into some MILB, and I think there's a couple super chats too if you want to get into those.
Yeah, I know we did the free Sal Stewart now, so we'll repeat that one as we get into Reds MILB, and then Reds Batter Up sent a $5 super sticker. So shout out to Reds Batter Up. Appreciate the support, and appreciate everybody that's watching along tonight. But yeah, I'll do my best to give you a little update on Reds MILB. Obviously, not all the games are final at this point, so I'll do the best to get you an update on where they are at this point. We'll start, of course, as we always do, in AAA Louisville. Kevin Abel making his AAA debut on the mound for the Bats after being promoted from Chattanooga. Interesting, he was 3-7 with a 5.63 ERA and 19 starts at Chattanooga. So feels like probably a call up to fill a spot more so than a real promotion. But 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned. Walked 3 and struck out. Struck out 6 on the day. Connor Phillips came in relief, 1 2/3 innings pitch of 1 hit baseball. Did walk 1, struck out 3. No runs to him. Joe LaSorsa 1 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 walks, and Lyon Richardson, not a good outing again from him. 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 1, didn't strike out any. Offensively, though, the Bats continue to struggle a little bit offensively. Blake Dunn 1 for 4 on the day with an RBI, struck out 3 times. Hector Rodriguez, we mentioned already, 1 for 4 with a home run. How about this for the start of the game for the Louisville Bats? Blake Dunn struck out to start the game. And then Hector Rodriguez, 107 mile an hour off the bat, home run. Will Benson, 108.5 mile an hour off the bat, single. Christian Encarnacion Strand, 109.5 flyout. And then Sal Stewart, 113.7 single. Not a bad start for the Louisville Bats. But Hector Rodriguez 1 for 4 with that home run. Sal Stewart 2 for 4 with a double. Will Benson 2 for 3 with a walk. CES 0 for 4. He's now hitting 252. Connor Joe 0 for 2. His batting average down to 158. Ryan Valade 0 for 3 on the day as well for the Bats. They currently trail the Toledo Mud Hens 5-2 in the bottom of the 8th. Over in Chattanooga, it's the bottom of the 7th. The Lookouts, they are ahead of the Birmingham Barons 9-2 for the Lookouts. Jay Allen on the day 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Edwin Arroyo 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs as well. Cam Collier is 0 for 2 but did walk twice, struck out twice. Ruben Ibarra 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Leo Balcazar 1 for 3. Ethan O'Donnell 0 for 3 on the day. Austin Callahan 2 for 3. 3 runs scored and an RBI there for the Lookouts. Just went final in Dayton. The Dayton Dragons defeat the Lake County Captains 2-1 on the day. Carlos Jorge 2 for 3 on the day. Carlos Sanchez 0 for 4. Yerlin Confidant 3 for 4 on the day as well. Nestor Laurent pitched for them today. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit. No earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts for Nestor Laurent. And then the Daytona Tortugas, they beat the Jupiter Hammerheads 10-1. Alfredo Duno 0 for 1, but he walked twice and scored twice. Tyson Lewis, tough day at the plate, 0 for 4 strikeouts. Alfredo Alcantara has been on a little bit of a hot streak ever since being promoted from the ACL. He was 1 for 2 with a home run and 3 RBIs. And then shout out to Mason Neville, the Reds' 4th round draft pick in this year's draft. Actually a 2-time Reds draft pick. He was drafted back in 2022 as well before going to college. He picked up his first professional RBI tonight for the Daytona Tortugas. Ovis Portes, if you remember, the Reds picked him up in a trade last year. 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. That'll do it for your Reds MILB. Of course, the Reds back in action tomorrow. 1:35 first pitch for the Reds and Pirates in the series finale. It'll be Zach Littell going up against right-handed pitcher Mike Burrows. Littell, he'll be making his 2nd start for the Reds. He's 9-8 on the season with a 3.46 ERA. In his Reds debut on August 5th, he went 7 innings, a 3-hit ball against the Cubs, giving up a run on only 2 walks and 8 strikeouts. It all totaled up to a 5-1 win for the Reds. Littell has faced the Pirates 4 times in his career, but they were all relief appearances and all took place in 2022 or prior. He has faced 4 current Pirates. Andrew McCutchen is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa 0 for 1. Tommy Pham is 3 for 10 on his career with a double, an RBI, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. And then better look out, Brian Reynolds, 3 for 3 on his career with a double and an RBI. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they'll turn to Mike Burrows. He's 1 4 on the season with a 4.45 ERA. Last start against San Francisco, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 6 runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 3 home runs. He had a 1.59 ERA, though, in the 3 starts prior to that last start. He's never faced any Reds or any of the Reds' active hitters. Does rely on 5 pitches, including a 4-seamer, changeup, slider, curveball, and sinker. That fastball average is 95.3. Batters not really being successful against that changeup, which he throws 24% of the time, hitting just a $151 against that pitch. He was the Pirates' 11th round pick in 2018 out of high school in New York, made his MLB debut in the second to last game of 2024. Reds will look to pick up the split on the series and hopefully get out of Pittsburgh with 2 wins. We look, obviously, Corey, around the league at this point, kind of scoreboard watching, as you know, at this point, a lot of things affecting the Reds' outcome. A lot of people in the chat been talking about it. The Cubs lead the Cardinals 9-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals at this point looking like they will fall 2 games behind the Cincinnati Reds in the standings. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks are ahead of the Rockies. The Padres currently trail the Red Sox 3-2. Need the Red Sox to win that one. It's still early, end of the 3rd there in San Diego. And then the one that everybody is talking about in the chat, the Brewers officially knock off the New York Mets 7-4 in Milwaukee. The Brewers just continue to win baseball games. I don't know what their magic sauce is, but nonetheless, they continue to find ways to win. The Mets now losers of 10 of their last 11. You look at the wild card standings as of right now, and the Cincinnati Reds sitting just 2.5 games back of the New York Mets in the standings. We talked about it earlier. That's really unfortunate that the Reds couldn't do more over the last stretch because this New York Mets team is really struggling. They now sit at 63-54, just 2.5 games ahead. Again, if the Padres just a game ahead of that as well. So we'll be rooting against the Padres here as they battle the Red Sox still early there on the West Coast.
You're right. Only being 2.5 games out after going through this tough series with the Pirates. I think we can all agree the Reds are not playing their best baseball. So we start playing our best baseball. We get Hunter Green back. I'm telling you, this thing can keep rolling. My optimism is back. It's definitely a 24-hour swing from last night, but my optimism is back. 2.5 games out. Let's get healthy. Let's get the middle of this lineup going right. Get Hunter Green back in the lineup. We still got a shot at this thing. I'm not done scoreboard chasing yet.
Yeah, look, the Mets now, like I mentioned, 1-10 in their last 11. The Cincinnati Reds, unfortunately, 5-5 in their last 10. Haven't been able to make up as much ground as you would have liked them to, but still picking up four games in that stretch is nice. Last I saw playoff odds for the Reds sitting at somewhere around 7%. I would assume that with the win and the Mets loss tonight, that would have increased a little bit. I did have one other item that I wanted to mention, actually 2 other items that I wanted to mention. They mentioned on the pregame show, Wade Miley throwing today in live batting practice for the Reds there in Pittsburgh. So as he continues to rehab and try to make his comeback off of his injury that saw a potential retirement, looks like Wade Miley now inching closer to maybe making some rehab appearances in the minor leagues. And then the other one, what a story, Corey. Definitely got to follow this one. TJ Antone officially headed to Dayton to make rehab appearances for the Dayton Dragons. As we all know, TJ Antone, 3 Tommy John surgeries, including 1 last year. He's been out in the Arizona complex over the last week or so, rehabbing, now headed to Dayton for an official rehab assignment. We'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. I don't know whether or not he makes it back to the majors, but unbelievable that he's even at this point where he's making rehab appearances in the minors. Reports from Bryce Spalding that his velocity on fastball has been sitting between 93 and 96. And as we all know, relies on that nasty curve to mix in there. So TJ Antone, a guy that I will certainly be keeping an eye on and certainly be rooting for over the next several weeks as he goes through his rehab assignment.
Absolutely. The man's got a bionic arm at this point. You've got to give that guy all the credit in the world to keep battling back after the first one and the second one and now a third one. It's impressive what he's trying to do. So best of luck to our boy TJ, man. I would love to see him in a Cincinnati Reds uniform again here real soon. Just one more cool story that I thought was pretty cool just from the MLB world. Did you see where Jen Powell was the first female Major League Baseball umpire tonight? I thought that was pretty cool. Worth a shout out right there. That was pretty awesome, making Major League Baseball history tonight. So worth a shout out down there. And I think it was the Miami Marlins, but she actually got her start at a clinic in Cincinnati. So got her Major League Baseball start in the Queen City at one of our clinic or one of the clinics that they were hosting, and then made it to the Major League Baseball, made her Major League Baseball debut tonight, and I think she'll actually be behind the plate tomorrow night. So kudos to her and a big shout out. I thought that was a pretty cool moment, worth a special shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. She spent 11 years in the minor leagues working her way up. like you mentioned, doubleheader today for them. So she was at first base in game 1, was going to take third base in game 2. And then, as you mentioned, she'll be behind the dish tomorrow in Atlanta. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as well, and wish her nothing but the best. Cool moment in the post game as well. They gave her a press conference. Her and Chris Guccione, who's the crew chief, had a chance to talk about really what it meant. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff, and certainly like to talk about those positive stories sometimes, because we can get lost in the negativity of the season and the negativity of the ups and downs of sports. But a lot of cool stuff happening around the world, and definitely shout out to Jen Powell on that.
Absolutely. Well, let's hope for a good day tomorrow, man. Let's get another good performance out of Zach Littell. He was absolute nails when we needed him the last time. We can get another one of those tomorrow, get a split, have a winning road trip. I know those first 2 games in Pittsburgh are definitely going to leave a bad taste in our mouth, but a win tomorrow will do a lot as far as taking that bad taste out of there. So let's try to have a good day at the ballpark tomorrow and get out of here with at least a series split. What do you think?
Absolutely. First pitch from Pittsburgh, 1:35 p.m. Eastern time. Nick and Trace will be live on Chatterbox Sports YouTube page at 9:00 on Sunday night, as they always are. We appreciate you all tuning in, and we look forward to the next time we'll see you, which I think is next Friday. Honestly, Corey and I will be back next Friday. So until then, go Reds.
Go Reds.